the lesson of the week is about kind of the launch. And then everybody's been asking me, how is somebody said clip the backstories in the recording. we'll do our best. So, how did I get all the engagement? What did I do in that process? Was very purposeful. It wasn't an accident that I had over 500 likes on my main launch post, 33 shares now on my main launch post. There was things I did leading up to that to prepare my profile so that when I did drop that one, it would have the highest likelihood. Again, I don't control Facebook, but would have the highest likelihood. And then also everybody's been asking, what's up with this price? How are you possibly going to be able to make money at this price?
My favorite comments are like when business friends that have known us since like site fling days, so like 15 years now, and they're like, I want to just give you some advice. I think you're pivoting in the wrong way, but I promise you we have a plan behind it, and I'd love to reveal it to you guys.
Yes. So, all right. So first with the social media, if you're going to do a launch, our social media is pulling just as well as our email list. It works about equally today. If you're doing social media correctly, it should be pulling about as well as your email list. And so, couple of things here. Can we I'm
not trying to be rude. I'm actually texting team members that are helping me keep track of chat.
Right.
So
I just want to pull up my Facebook post here. So leading up to the actual launch post, which was the one where I announced the price, you have to understand something called EdgeRank. Okay, EdgeRank, and it's changed a lot over time, but EdgeRank is Facebook is looking to see how engaged you are, and so if you're not getting much engagement, if all you're doing is you're sharing your dinners, your lunches, just your life on there, you're probably not getting much engagement. And so then when you do drop something where you want a lot of engagement on, that's Facebook's basically looking, without getting too geeky. Yeah, bring that one up. That's the one I need to look at. Okay. I couldn't find it while I was trying to talk.
That's what I'm here for.
So if you understand EdgeRank is essentially the average of your engagement, right? So if you don't have a lot of engagement, then when you want engagement, it's going to be hard to get it because Facebook's trying to decide how much should they show your posts in people's news feeds. And so leading up to it, there were a few different posts that I did. And so starting with the coaches one on August 31st. Okay, so I knew I wanted to launch around September 3rd. So thinking like a week back, I knew what I had to do is I had to think about my market. Okay, who's my market? I need to drop something that's fire, something that's going to really get a lot of talk, that's going to hit them hard, And so that was when I did there are 3 types of ad campaigns I have to rescue more often than any other inside AdSkills. One of them is coaches. I think we all know coaches are exploding in our industry. I don't have to be like this market research savant to know that if I talk about anything related to coaching, I'm going to have a pretty good likelihood of being, something that everybody's going to want to talk about, So that was the first stage of it, is making sure that I dropped something that was going to be really good, really detailed in there. Also a little bit like maybe they haven't heard it talked about this way before. And so that really helped me. There was 251 likes, 74 comments, 15 shares on that. The other thing that I knew is that topic was going to get a lot of the influencers, right? Because I'm talking about coaches, so I'm probably going to attract a lot of the coaches. So I knew that it was going to get a lot of the influencers commenting. Here's the biggest thing, what I've learned about today in social media. It used to be about getting a lot of likes. It's not about getting a lot of likes anymore. It's about getting a lot of comments and who's commenting. Comments is the number one thing that's going to blow up your social media right now.
That's a great tip. Super great tip.
So with that, knowing that I'm going to attract, the bigger influencers into commenting, because here's the other thing is you got to understand is when someone comments, their people will see that they commented. So I'm trying to maximize my exposure, maximize how many people are looking at my post, right? And so I'm choosing one first above everything else. Okay. Before we even get into like micro strategy, macro strategy, I need a topic that's going to resonate with the market. Coaching. I know that's going to resonate. What else resonates with our market? Courses, e-commerce, drop shipping. These are some just high level topics. So you just got to kind of know your market a little bit. Then what I need to do is, okay, how am I going to get comments on this? How am I going to get the right comments on it? How am I going to get influencers to comment on here? If I really, really need to, I will go into, I'll tag some people, but you get real spammy. You really can't lean on that too much. You really got to use that at a very low level. So if I absolutely had to, I would. The other thing is, you notice that I try to come back and comment. So I will normally leave a post. I'm looking for someone to comment right away. And then I'm going to reply to that comment, because that's the other thing, is it needs to be a two-way conversation. As soon as it's a two-way conversation, this thing really starts taking off on Facebook. It's going to really start getting up there. And then there's a certain bump that happens with every comment. So even the haters, y'all still making me money, So you want those comments to be going, but then I will wait, because there's another, like an extra boost that happens when you comment again. It kind of boosts back out to all of your people.
It even like clips your comments and shows like one that maybe some people are seeing more often because you responded to.
So that's, I'll wait an hour, 2 hours, and, I'll kind of sandbag. So sometimes you'll see me leave a comment to somebody that, like, why would I even make that? I'm just trying to bump it. It's like, John, your hair looks great today. Or I agree, I'm just trying to bump that thing up. So
there's a great question here about the comments. Like, are there specific comments that work? For example, like a yes or no versus like a longer comment.
Well, so look, above it all, you need a comment, right? So I'm not above a yes, a no, and I agree. Your hair looks great today. I'm not above that. I'll use it if I have to, but you have to remember, just like Chaunna said, it's going to clip your comment. Like when it bumps it back up, it's showing people the comment that you did. So if that comment doesn't like add to the experience, doesn't like create more curiosity or more value, then they're just going to scroll past it.
Right.
So you want to try to have a valuable comment every time. Do I always have one? No. So sometimes it's just, I agree. So that's important. Okay. So then going forward, oh man, you have to bring it up for me again.
You did it.
So knowing, and then I almost went to post something that was just kind of like my opinion. Instead, what I did is I knew I needed something else to get more edge rank, and I knew I needed comments. I also needed feedback. And I said, great, let's do a post. I posted, who wants to beta test AdSkills 2.0 tomorrow? I needed feedback. I was launching a new product. I needed people in there testing it, giving feedback, more testimonials, so I could do all this launch stuff.
And we already had a round of beta testers. Like we sent our entire team through it first, and then we sent the Guardians through it. So like we had already had testers, but this was a good way to get engagement and give a few people something really exciting to look forward to.
Right. So by me saying, who wants to beta test it, I'll pick 10 people at random from the comments. 372 comments on that. So another, and again, just kind of boost up what's my average engagement rate. And then just a little bit before the launch, I needed to kind of set what I was trying to achieve was the social proof, that this thing's already hot. Not, when you're launching something, everybody knows it's new. Like we're a little bit immune to the whole launch thing. It's like, whatever, he's doing a launch, I'm going to ignore him for a little while because he's going to be spamming his wall to death here. But I'll come back and see what the feedback is later. So how do I jump ahead of that a little bit and kind of make the social proof happen? So that's why I said 1,400 of you likely just got access. And so that the FOMO is already set, that like 1,400 of you have already gotten access. We are rolling out to previous customers. And that was the post, AdSkills 2.0 is here. The other thing, if any of y'all are smart and sharp and have seen this from what we teach, these were all black background. Most of these were black background images, which y'all know that I'm a big fan of black background ads, especially with Facebook being an almost all white medium, unless it's, dark mode. But the black background works great. And then if you notice, you can't pick it up too much here, but the words, I chose a filter, just tap on a font in the app that I was using. I use, what's that one called? Word. I don't know. You have to ask me later, but so I just chose word swag, just a font that had angles, right? So black background plus the diagonals is going to really bump up the stopping power, the thumb scrolling power of it. And then the FOMO of 1,400 of you have likely. So that was kind of leading up to the launch so that I could do the actual AdSkills $8.99. And then, it's not just about having the black background. You have to, it's one thing to stop them from scrolling, so that's the first job, but then you have to get them to dive in mentally into the post. So I started that off with, I'm blaming this on Harvard, ... I know you guys, you all believe Harvard is better, smarter, is the better information.
That's everybody, right? Like when you hear about Harvard, everyone's like, well, what is Harvard teaching?
So you want to at least read the next sentence where I go, let me explain why, short version, because I want to appeal to your instant gratification, that you don't want to hear me blather on for a long time, and then I'm making sure that the story, the next part, okay, is where that little see more, the click to see more. I'm trying to be as strategic as I can about where that see more is showing up, because I want the story. So I'm lured you in with the first two sentences, and then I'm breaking up the story just before a cliffhanger so that you're kind of like sucked in to click see more. When you click see more, you're signaling, I'm getting a lot of people to click see more. That's signaling to Facebook that this is an attractive post. Then I'm also getting comments on it as well. You
don't want to read more.
You do not want to read more.
So if you get to read more, your post is too long. You want to clip that out.
Right.
Clip it down.
So read more. What happens is, I believe people know, I don't exactly know the structure of how it works, but when the read more is there, most people know that that's going to open another page and it's going to be a really long post.
It's going to pull you out of your feed.
Right. People don't want that. You want it to say see more in the right place, and so that's kind of what I did leading up to it. And we had hundreds of people sign up from that one post because I did that kind of launch sequence on social media.
But not just that, we had people writing in. So we had already, pre-met with some of the industry's influencers to get them to talk about us during the launch and to share about us this week, which you'll see happening. But like, we had people messaging us like, how do I promote this? You're going to put out too much buzz before I get the opportunity to promote this. So like that leading up to it wasn't just about getting our audience excited. It was about getting the whole industry excited and wanting to share what's coming new.
Right. Yeah. Right. It wasn't an accident of some of the people. There was some lucky, happy accidents is the new thing.
Happy accident.
But there was a lot of people that I had spoke to a week ahead of time, letting them know that this was coming. Hey, can I just get a share? So I just went to all my friends, and this is the biggest thing: build the relationships before you need them.
Yeah.
That's Russell Brunson taught me that.
Huge tip. Yeah.
Do not. You will not build friends on the day of your launch. Nobody likes you that much. I promise you. I've been in this industry for 15 years. I've known some of these people for 12 plus years. I can't reach out to them. So I reach out to them ahead of time, letting them know, hey, here's what I'm doing. Look, if I can pay for a share, I'll pay for it. That's one thing I step forward with a lot of them, even though they're good friends of mine, even though that I have, the IOUs in the bank, I still came up to them and, hey, I'm doing this thing. You think I could pay you like an influencer post to post? Oh, Justin, stop it. You don't need to pay me. I'll do it for free. but come to the table with that level of respect, for them and offer to pay. And I was willing to, I was happy to pay for a lot of these influencers $500, $1,000 for a social share, just because I know what it's going to do overall. But almost all of them said, "Oh, no way, I'll do it for free." So, there's so much more that I want to talk about. I want to get to questions. The other thing,
I think I can come in the questions as well.
Yeah. So if you want to know more about what we did, like email wise, what else is coming in the launch, and how we're keeping it going, we're at about, I think right now we're probably somewhere between 320, 350 new members. We're trying to get to 1,000 in the first week. And, for a new continuity, 1,000 members in a week, it's great. Will it be amazing revenue? Will it blow away our revenue numbers? No, but
well, that's the other thing we should talk about is, are all those 1,000 people coming into Pro League? And the answer is no. Like
some of them
will. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I wanted to segue into here is kind of the business model. You want to talk about the different ways that we're monetizing so that we aren't only worried about $8.99 a month.
Right. And so that's actually what a lot of people in the industry aren't seeing, which is why we want to share it with you guys, is like, we're trying to transition AdSkills from just you coming to us for content and us giving you content. That's not it. Like, we want to build out the community. The community has always been the core of AdSkills. That was the first thing. Like, when we launched Media Buying Masters in 2016, I think it is, like, it was Media Buying Masters. And then we had a private Slack group, which converted into Pro League. And it was just us. We had just invited a handful of people in there. We were just testing ideas and putting them into our courses. And then slowly we let more and more people into that Slack group, which is now the Slack group you guys know. And so we've always been very protective of that group because we want it to be high value. You ask a question, you have somebody that actually knows what they're doing answering you. And you don't have to question whether they know what they're doing. And so we want to keep that, but we wanted to continue to support that community in more ways than what Slack can give us. So we added on, we have tools coming out. So Graham, you'll see here on the feed, is solely in charge of tools and the marketplace. So those are two new features that come to just our Pro League community because we want to help you guys get more resources from AdSkills.
The biggest thing is everybody's asking me, what's the funnel? We're not thinking about a funnel anymore. We're thinking about a platform. And this is why, a couple of weeks ago, I made a post about, platforms are greater than funnels. If you read Modern Monopoly, if you read, I think it's Platform Economy, there's a whole lot of books coming out about platforms. And so the difference, a funnel is like an ascension model, descension model. We all get a funnel, but a platform just has a lot of use in there. So we're trying to build a platform for ad buyers. What does that mean? It means that there's tools, that there's training, that there's community, there's certification, there's matchmaker, there's advertising, there's all these different things that you can use in your business to make more money. And we get a little bit, from all the different things. So like in the marketplace,
right,
you get 100% of what you sell in our marketplace. We get $20 for each post.
And that's really just for admin work, for the person that has to make sure everything goes live and publishes and troubleshoots and stuff like that.
But also because the marketplace is public and you would want it to be, because you want as many customers as possible when you list something on there, because it's public, we're going to be working on SEO and tackling so many more keywords because we have all these different things in our marketplace, and so there will be backlinks coming to them. There'll be, just other content, a lot of user generated content that's going to be helping increase our SEO. And then we get, in order for them to purchase any of those offers, it's not like there's a squeeze page. Hey, you have to create an account in order to buy. It's just, if you want the functionality, you have to have an account on the thing. And so that's going to give us an email address, which we can then show them the $8.99. So now there's all these things out there. You're making 100% of the money because I'm getting my value from having a lot more members so that I can, then sell them the $8.99. So that's one of the monetizations. Then also in the marketplace is we built in advertising, so that if somebody's offer is doing well, like I built everything that made me successful in the beginning.
You're putting into AdSkills.
Right.
Yes.
So when my offers were doing well in the WSO forum, I was paying the WSO forum for advertising, and it was $100 a day. And I was literally, their functionality was so bare bones that you had to like stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning and only 10 people could buy. So you'd be like waiting till 1 o'clock in the morning and you'd just be like, just ready to click, hoping I could be the one to be able to spend $100 a day. And I tried so hard to bribe the owner, Alan. I was like, look, I'll give you $1,000, just let me buy it for like a month in advance. So you'll be able to, if your offer is doing well, or you want to sell something else to the people in there, you'll be able to, for $100 a day, advertise inside the marketplace. That $100 a day, I only need 20 people, which will make it $2,000 a day, which is another $1 million income stream. There's also ad card. Again, this is, I make 1% off of the entire revenue off it. You get 3% back on your cash back. This is an offer that's better than almost any other credit card out there. You're going to get 3% cash back, not just on Google, but on Facebook as well. And not capped at 150,000 like Capital One or Inc. I think it is. It's unlimited on your Facebook and Google ad spend. Plus, you're going to get unlimited virtual cards, which allows you to open a bunch of different ad accounts while having one dashboard, one bill, instead of having to have a bunch of different credit cards to keep track of.
But then on top of that, we're also creating a course that teaches you how to pitch the ad card to your clients, because we know it's not like the old days where the audience, your customer or your client sends you the money and then you go spend it. A lot of times you're using their accounts with their cards, but now we have a way for you to pitch it to them where like your services are pretty much covered when they sign up for ad cards. So now it's an easier client sell to get them on ad card and to get your services paid for.
It's not unheard of to find a client who's spending $100,000 a month on advertising. There's clients that are spending well beyond 10 times and more of that. So if they're spending $100,000 a month and you get them to use ad card, then that's $3,000 a month that they're getting back from their ad spend. That pays for your service fee, and so there's a pitch on how to use ad card to get them to be your client. And so now you're getting more clients and they're paying. And so we get a small percentage of that, of the total spend of that. So that's another $1 million income stream. The advertising is $1 million income stream. The $149 a month is an income stream. So there's a bunch of little income streams built in here, but there are also a lot of really valuable tools for you guys. So that's how it's not just $8.99 a month that I'm going to be trying to, build this thing on.